I was looking at some of the stuff from 2000. It's like, I want that MTT and I want that Podracer bucket, but oof, some of the prices on these things. And at the same time, that Podracer bucket, like, what am I going to do with that?
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
So here we are, finally talking about the set. 7159, the Star Wars Podracing Bucket from 2000, and it originally retailed for $20. I think I spent about $55, maybe a little bit more. I'm trying to remember what the 55 was, if that was euros or if that was dollars. So I might have paid up to like $65 for this thing. And the main reason why is for the bucket. Because the bucket is something that I would not have gotten rid of as a kid. I would have kept it and like thrown other parts in it or something. I would have never thrown it away. You can find this set relatively cheaply, but a number of people only have just the pods, like just the set part of it, not even like instructions or the bucket. And some people are like, yeah, and the instructions are a copy from a scan machine and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, no, I don't want that. I want like the actual thing, and I want the whole set. And the bucket is something that I would not have gotten rid of. And I feel like I've seen it before in stores back when it was 2000. Like I half remember seeing it, but I never got it because I was always focused on trying to get a new copy of the set that I blew up because I wanted to make something new, but didn't want to get rid of the set. And so it's like, of course, we got to get another ATST, or we got to get another of Luke's land speeder, you know. That was me. So anyway, the bucket. Nowhere on it does it say what the name is. Nowhere on it is there like a singular image of all the set components together in one thing, except for here. And then you also have a couple of alternate models that aren't based off of anything in particular to my knowledge. Got a handle. Got a lid with a bit of dust on it, which I don't care about because I would have totally had this thing covered in dust too. Inside we got this handle that is like part of the thing with the handle on it, so that's pretty cool. And then in theory you could stack them on top of one another because the studs fit into this hole in the bottom. So the only downside, I guess, would be that the lid is just kind of sitting in place. It's not actually like hooked into anything. So if it ever tipped over, you know, it sucks to be you. You've got parts spilled everywhere. Oh, jeez. I do like the little glitter in there to be stars. That's cool. That is a neat feature. So now we're gonna bring in the stuff for the set. But first we're going to talk about these instructions because they're smaller than I thought they were. I thought they'd be like the big instructions, but you know, that's because I'm looking at images online. But dude, the guy I bought this from, front page is like glued on, and it was stapled 7 times. You can see all the little puncture holes. I've saved these 3 because they don't do anything less than what was before. But, you know. And inside, normally you would have had like images from the movie. Now they're like these little animations, or not animation, but like little kid story comic stuff. Some recreations of things from the movie, some not. It's a very, very simple set. So now we'll fade into all the stuff up here. This is a hard set to try and get all in frame. So, yeah. It's kind of a hodgepodge. And this set, it's made for kids that were like 5 at the time. So, it is not great, but for a specific reason. It is, as I can best put it, delightfully kitsch. It is not like up to regular standards. If you were like just hoping to get a set and it's like, yeah, this is a great set, and it's like, no, not really. It's really not that great of a set, but for a kid, this would be the coolest thing in the world because you have 4 different pod racers. You can have all the seats filled by different people. You can bring in some of your other minifigures like Johnny Thunder, this Arctic dude, and an Insectoids drone, and like have them all be part of the pod race alongside Anakin, and have Jar Jar fly a thing. This dude, oh my gosh, I'll get to him later. But you know, like, and plus, I mean, it comes with this bucket. You can rip all the sets apart, build your own pod racers out of it. You can make cars out of them because it comes with some tires. Like, that is the point of this set, is to like just go wild with it. And so to have simpler builds for like the main set and then make it possible for you to make whatever you want later, it does the job well. So let's like really go in and scrutinize everything. Starting with minifigures, we have Anakin Skywalker, yet again without hair. He's always got a helmet on in every episode 1 set I seem to own. Not one instance does Anakin ever actually have hair in anything I own. I think it wasn't until like 2007 that you actually got a set with Anakin and it came with hair for him. So, you know. Very simple figure, no back printing, no back of the head printing, nothing. Just simple helmet goggled slave wear Anakin. Up next, Jar Jar Binks, everybody's favorite. You know, he's included in the set because Jar Jar's the comic relief. Kids like him. I honestly don't hate him either. So I think Jar Jar Binks, not entirely necessary, but, you know, he's not the worst thing to ever happen to Star Wars. Everybody needs to get over that, and I think they have, because a lot of people have really come together and disliked what's going on lately with sequels and things like that. But, you know, whatever. So, Jar Jar Binks, very simple. I like him. And then we get to what Brickset calls Aldar Beto. Now, maybe in a description somewhere, this guy is Aldar Beto. Maybe they mention him by name. I mean, this is his pod racer. This is what they have as Aldar Beto. And let me tell you, this dude looks insane. He's got like a, what is it called? The Hydronaut, I think, head. He's got a droid body and a cheese slope. Like, I can kind of see where they're going from. But then in 2001, they gave us a one singular piece Aldar Beto, And so now you look at the two side by side and it's like, what? Exactly who were you going for? Because this is what Aldarbedo actually looks like. And I honestly have no idea. So, yeah. I mean, I'm guessing this could be like his snout thing that's going on. I really have no idea. Dude's got like 5 legs or something. It doesn't make any sense. And he doesn't really fit onto any of the pod racers well. So it's really hard to use him. Like, even for his own pod racer. Oh no. Get that back in there. Like, he doesn't... I mean, I guess if you do that... I guess technically it works. I don't know. But anyway, this is what Aldarbedo actually looks like. So I don't know what they were going for with with the little multi-part guy, but I don't hate it. Like, that's part of the weird charm of early Star Wars sets, is that they are vastly imperfect. And I commend them for wanting to make a character with existing parts than just doing like this one singular mold thing. But, you know, I also like that it is, at the very least, accurate. It's not like photo perfect accurate, but like, you know, it's good. So now we're going to start talking about each of these pods one at a time. So up first is Anakin's pod racer. Obviously Anakin, but you know, this whole thing is it is a sight to behold sometimes. So they get it right in terms of, like, they've got the general idea here. Like, here's what Anakin's pod normally looks like, and this is what the set looks like. So I mean, they've got it right in terms of you're able to tell that it's Anakin's pod racer. But you know, like, there's no controls. This is white instead of at the very least gray, but I understand why it's white because there's another one of those these parts in white. But I do like the construction here of, like, using these elements that were used for the Y-wing and using them here. Now, if you hold it from the back end, the pods really, like, slant up front. So you got to hold it more by the pod. And also, these parts, they came very well loved. You can just see how much of it is, like, slightly broken and falling apart from kids just, like, doing this over and over and, like, trying to recreate what you see in the movie. But, you know. I do like the 1x6 trans neon orange part with good healthy coating of dust. Oh, jeez. This is the one thing. None of the other pods do this. But that happens a lot. I always manage to do that, so. It is, yeah, just very bare bones. So, you know, it's not the best, but it could be. It could also not be in the set at all. So, and I doubt that would have happened because Anakin's like the main focal point of the pod race. So, and just because I can, let's compare it to the big version. Really not much of a change in terms of length of the pod. Width of the pod is certainly different. Obviously, details. But I mean, like, if you showed this to somebody, you'd be like, yeah, that's Anakin's pod. It doesn't look good, but it's Anakin's pod, you know? Really, the only thing that I can think to really improve it is to add some stuff back here, just to hold him in better. Maybe have a series of jumper plates so that this is, at the very least, in the center, instead of off on an end like that. But, you know, they at least kept the printed part. So, yeah. That is Anakin's pod. Now we're going to move on to Neva Key's Pod Racer. Now, Neva Key's Pod Racer looks like this. And this is what we get. And I gotta say, I like it. Neva Key's Pod Racer is one of those interesting designs to where, like, the pods and the, I guess, cockpit, chassis, whatever you want to call it, is all connected together. In one thing, and it's very rare and extremely dangerous according to Wikipedia. But it is a thing. I don't know who should be flying this. Let's go with the Insectoids dude. Insectoids dude is not included in this set, but you know, bam, we've got an Insectoids dude. I don't remember what Neva Key looks like.
How you doing?
This is what we're gonna go with, and we're gonna go with Insectoids dude. But, you know, they got a nice little thing where back engines at the very least spin, so that's cool. I also like that we just get a different kind of pod racer. Like, over the years, within the first 3 years of LEGO Star Wars, so 1999, 2000, 2001, you get Anakin's pod twice, Gasgano, Sebulba. And then in 2001, you get Watto's Junkyard with Aldarbito's pod and Mahonic. And they're all full-size pods, although you got to rip apart Watto's shop in order to make the frame for Mahonic's pod so that it like holds together. But then you still don't get Mahonic in order to pilot his own pod, so that's a bit disappointing. But anyway, you know, just the fact that like they went the distance and gave us some extra kinds of pod racers. That's cool. I like that they did that. I'm hoping that they do some more at some point in the future, but they probably won't. We'll just get more rehashes of Anakin and Sebulba's pods at multiple scales. So, but you know, I find that it's accurate enough. So pretty cool. This is all one piece. Some people like really have an issue with that. I really don't. I guess it's because I grew up with the like so-called juniorized stuff to where there were multiple parts that were just like combinations of other parts. I mean, this is ultimately the 1x3 by like what, 2 bricks or something like that arch piece, but connected with another one in a 1x2 plate up at the top. But I mean, when you look at that, I mean, it makes a nice piece. And I think this is the only set that like this actually comes in, and you get 4 of them, so that's pretty cool. So you know, I like it. You know, it's simple. You know, obviously shaping could be better. I mean, this is supposed to be like a big whole open intake. It's not just supposed to be the top half of it. But yeah, you know, like it. As far as I'm concerned, it gets the job done. It gives a kid another pod racer to mess with. I like it. So we're gonna take Insectoids dude, and we're gonna move on to Aldarbito's pod. And this one, at the very least, they get the colors kind of right. The big set version of it, just because I can, I'm going to compare these two. Bam! It's too big to put in the shot. They use white, and I kind of think they should have gone with yellow. Also, I mean, this would have actually benefited from them doing some printing like what they've got back here, because the design that's on his pod, oh wow, that's really dusty. Whoa. The design that they've got on here, I mean, this is passable. I really have no complaints, because I didn't even know what the pattern was until I was looking on Wikipedia at stuff. But this could have been done better with like maybe some printing on a couple of parts or something. I don't know. Maybe you make another giant mold and get everybody mad at you, and you print all over it. I don't have a clue. But Aldarbito's pod is pretty cool. I've always liked this this double engine in the back. But you know, see how Anakin's would have like fallen over by now? They've got these nice little stops in here that keep that from happening, and I like it. This is another one of those ones where if you hold it from back here, they're obviously going to fall forward. So you want to hold it here. There's less stress on that part. I have full intention of replacing these parts. I actually do have these parts in my loose bins piece, but
Strike that. Reverse it. Thank you.
but I kind of want to bricklink some new ones. See if I can't at least get some better looking ones. I'll just kind of throw these as part of the junkyard, which I kind of plan to do for the whole set, is be part of Watto's junkyard. Just because, like, I don't need repeats of pods in the pod race display, and I don't want like this weird odd differentiation of scale that doesn't make sense, you know. But this is cool. I like it. I really do. Maybe if they had like done some printing or something, that might have been nice. But ultimately, I mean, this set is very much, again, like, this is the thing you give to the kid. They play around with the actual set for a bit. They rip it apart. They build their own pod racers. They make some cars out of it. Because, again, you got these tires in here. Because they're using tire pieces. So, you know, tire. That's an old rubber piece. So, doesn't really want to flex much. And sadly, I had to dig in my own parts collection because the tires were missing when I bought this set. It was listed as complete, was missing tires, and a couple other parts that I'll get to later. It made me mad. Well, not so much mad, but disappointed. I mean, it took 2 months to finally get the set from Germany. I mean, to be fair, we're dealing with international post-service bureaucracy. Enter the bureaucrat. So, you know. But, yeah. I find that it's accurate enough. Let's get this back just one last time. Just to kind of show that off. It's like, yeah, you know, they got the general idea going on here. I get it. Same thing with the pods. I see what you're doing. And I like it. So, yeah. So that is Aldarbito's pod. And now we move to the final pod, which is Clegg Holdfast. So Clegg Holdfast, if you don't know, well, you're missing out, aren't you? It actually took a bit of searching to discover whose pod this actually was, because when you're looking at all the different profiles of pods, it kind of matched like 3 versions, but eventually I did find like, no, this is definitely like the like series of numbers and letters and wasp and it's Clegg Holdfast's pod racer. When you find the image and it's like, okay, yeah, that is it, because it's got the red, it's got the little green in there, it's got this weird little wing thing in the back. So yeah, it's Clegg Holdfast's. So, who will fly Clegg Holdfast's pod racer? Well, I don't know, actually. I can't fit anybody in there. Oh no! I don't have anybody that'll fit. That makes me sad. Johnny Thunder won't be able to be part of the race. I guess he could stand. Come on. Work. There we go. Johnny Thunder. He's part of the race. And this is nice. It's got the dark gray bits there. It's got all the round things there. So, really, I only take issue with the design of this because, you know, while you hold it here, this sags. When you hold it here, that kind of falls down. Looks a little funny to me. But, you know, overall, good. And again, like this 1x6 trans neon orange piece is great. They're actually using, what is it? Yeah, that would be a 1x10 red plate along the bottom just so that it holds on there, but you know, good. Now, obviously, I think transparent pink was a color at the time. They really should have used pink, but I'm also a nostalgia shill, and I'm like, no, they used trans orange. I like that they're keeping themselves consistent in using trans orange, even though it's the wrong color. So, you know, I don't get too bent out of shape over stuff like that. You know, I'm thankful that, like, they use trans pink now, but, you know, I just love that charm of, like, getting things correct, but still being wrong, you know? Like, they get the general shape of Clegg Holdfast's pod right, and, you know, I was able to figure it out, so that's cool. But they're using, like, some wrong colors for the binding cables and you know, stuff like that. And like these colors, oh, it's a little too big, but like the little plate version of a 4x4 round didn't exist at the time, and these are supposed to be cones, but they're using cylinders. I mean, it's like, wait, who cares? Like, I get the general idea. It's a pod racer. That's all I need to know, because that's all a kid cares about. It's a pod racer. So, yeah. So, now we're going to move on to the final thing. So, what is a race without a finish line? So, this is where Jar Jar hangs out, because, you know, he wasn't driving anything. I'm a stickler for continuity. Now, we'll just throw Jar Jar back over here. But this finish line, you know, it works. Can't put any other regular pod through the finish line, but it works. I mean, it's even got the 3 lights of for it. You know, I mean, it looks very much like Tatooine. I'm not entirely sure why these aren't like this, but you know, they tell you to do it like this, so you know, I'm not gonna argue with the set design. I'm keeping it as accurate as I can for you guys, just for the review's sake. I mean, I might change it later on my own, but you know, when I got this, missing this top part. I was lucky enough to have a tan radar dish from Jabba's palace, but it belongs to Jabba's palace, so I need to actually find a new one of this. And it only came in 6 sets, so you know, gotta find somebody that owns it. Ben Kasi has reached out to me and like, hey, I got some of those, you want it? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm in Florida. I took 2 months just to get something from Germany. What? I can't deal with Australian prices of stuff. Like, are you kidding? Like, Australia is one of the most inflated currencies ever. It's insane. But, you know, anyway. They're using some castle parts that are probably recolored in tan, if they weren't used in tan in some other theme at the time. And I do like their stop and go little thing, little turntable up front. So, you know, stop. All right, time to start the race, you know, whatever. It's fun. And, you know, you could hide Jar Jar back here, and he could peer on you with his evil snout. His so sinister, dark side snout. He should be stealing your soul. So yeah, you know. That's this. So, you know, let's get everything back in frame. Try and do that again. So, overall, should you get the set? Honestly, no, not today, not anymore. This is really more of a thing to where if you're trying to collect all your Star Wars sets, or collect sets that you missed out on, you know, like, that's the only reason to get this set anymore. And if you can, try and get it with the bucket. I actually did find a guy on eBay that was selling one where all the parts were still in the bags. and in like pretty good condition. The only problem is that it's like 70 some odd dollars. Like, people are selling this, but for like very high prices, because I mean the bucket is rare. I'm not gonna deny that. And the only reason why I bought this is because I saw that it was 25 euros from this dude in Germany, and then it was gonna cost another 20 so in shipping, and I was like, you know what? I'll pay that much to get this, because that's about as cheap as I'm gonna get. Because finding somebody within the States, I mean, they're up there. They're high prices. So, you know. And plus, you can't even guarantee that everybody's got all the parts. I mean, my guy didn't even have all the parts. So, you know. Very, very disappointed in that guy. I mean, it took... Oh, my gosh. Like... All right. If we're going to get into it, prepare yourselves. We're about to get into it.
Tighten your seatbelt.
So, back on, like, November 23rd... I find this this set for sale on Bricklink, and I'm like, all right, cool, yeah. And in the description it says ask for pics, and I'm like, well, of course I will definitely ask for pictures, because the description said like complete with box and instructions. But the thing is that the set came in a bucket, and he also said just like complete with box and instructions on everything, and see pics on, and like ask for pics on everything. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you up on your offer. I want to see some pictures. Took him a week to respond, and then we're like, what address would you like me to send this to? I'm like, dude, like, it tells you, doesn't it? Like, I sent you an email. Like, I sent him an email through the Bricklink service, but so I was like, I asked for pictures. It goes to my email, goes to your email. If you check like a user's thing, you can like find a contact thing, and I think that also like tells you what their email is. I don't remember exactly what the whole thing is. But still, it was like, dude, like, you should know it. But even then, like, I respond in an email, like, just through, like, the emailing system, like, after you, like, send a message to somebody, and it goes, and it sends it through your email, you can just hit the reply button, and it'll just send it straight to their email, because that's all the messaging system is that it just bounces from, like, email to email, but then, like, at a weird like proxy way through Bricklink. I don't know. But point is, he asked like, what mailing address would you like me to send this to? Now, look, this guy's German, so he's obviously working with a bit of a language barrier. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but I don't exactly speak the best English. Like, I speak American English. There's no like proper grammar going on here, per se. But, you know, fine. I send him my email. Takes him another week to send pictures. It's like, dude, you should have all of these on hand immediately. Also, we live in the digital age. Like, just grab your camera or your phone or whatever the heck you take pictures with, take the picture, send me an email. It's not that hard. Like, this is one of those things to where it's like, similar stuff with mock pages. Like, dude, Sean, Kenny, get it together, because like somebody asks you a question, you can't just take 5 minutes to answer it. Like, obviously if you're bombarded with like, hey, why is mock pages down or whatever, obviously you're not gonna like want to talk to anybody. But if somebody like crafts like an actual question and asks you kindly, don't just delete it. Like, you took the time to delete the comment, like just reply. It's gonna be so much easier, and people will be off your back. But nobody cares about mock pages anymore, including me, because I got hacked. But anyway, back to Bricklink. So then, sends pictures a week later. I send money immediately. Nothing changes for 2 weeks. Until he sends me a reply. Hey, can I get another 5 euros to ship this? I'm like, no, you can't get 5 extra euros from me. I mean, yeah, it's only 5 euros. But still, like, I did everything I was supposed to do. Why did it take you 2 weeks when your terms say it'll take you a week max to get it into shipping? No warning at all. So now, like, I'm already, like, on edge, as you can hear. But I'm, like, crafting my emails very carefully, responsibly. I'm using a lot of I instead of yous, because, like, I feel this is what's going on. Hey, you know, definitely, like, try and conduct yourself in the best way possible. That's, like, the best thing that I ever learned from, interpersonal communication in college. Like, never point your finger at somebody and say you. You just say, hey, I think that this is what's going on. I feel like this is what's going on. Like, try not to point the blame at the person, but obviously like point the blame at the person without looking that way, you know? So anyway, goes along, like December 8th, this is when it finally gets put into shipping. And then January 1st, because occasionally I'll just check Bricklink just to look at what's going on and like follow up on the order, even though there's nothing that I like can really be changed. Although apparently like sellers can change the status of a shipment, and I guess he accidentally clicked on a thing that said that it was completed, and we're like, no, it definitely ain't completed, like I ain't got the set yet. Like, what's going on? This is the one time that he like responds immediately and like, oh yeah, sorry, that was an accident. But also beyond that, like December 8th, he sends me this and he tells me what the tracking number is. Tracking number never worked. And like, because I know this dude's gonna take a week to respond to me, I don't even send him a message saying that, because like, who cares what a tracking number is? Like, it's not that big a deal. But when it takes like over a month to finally get this thing to you, and also like we're getting close to Christmas at the time, and it's like, look, he's already saying that he's busy for just like 2 weeks in order to get this thing shipped out to me. Like, I'm not gonna bother him for a tracking number that's gonna take him another week to respond at the busiest time of the year, you know? So then it's like, okay, well, like, the tracking number never worked. Do you got one that does work? Or like, can you send me a URL to a website that will have it work? Because every time I tried to plug in that tracking number, it never worked. Doesn't respond to me at all about that. Does hit me up though, hey, have you received it yet? I'm like, no! Like, yeah, I send him all the stuff with the URL. Again, doesn't happen. I wait 3 weeks. We're now at the tail end of January, and I send him a message saying, hey, just as an update, don't have it yet. No response. Then like 5 days later, on a Friday, I finally get the set, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was actually about, and like, the sad thing is, I was actually about to like cancel the order, because at this point, like, this thing's lost in shipping somewhere, because it shouldn't take more than a month to get something. It shouldn't take like nearly 2 months. But I have had stuff where I bought like on Amazon that was from China or something like that, that like for whatever reason wasn't in stock, and when they got it in stock it would be shipped out. But you know, and that took quite a bit of time. But so it was like, I don't know, there's something's not right, something's fishy about this. Finally get the set, parts are missing. I sent him an email telling him like all the stuff that happened, and like, why are the instructions like this? Like, obviously it's my fault that I looked at the picture that he sent me. I saw that the instructions were a little like beaten up, but it was like, that's no skin off my nose. I don't really care. I didn't see that it was stapled 7 times and glued. I was more focused on making sure that the bucket was there. So, you know, like, I just care that the bucket is there and in good enough condition. I'm not looking to see that the instructions are screwed up, that 4 tires are missing, a cone and a dish are missing. I'm just looking at the bucket. I'm like high on this whole thing of just like, yes, he's got the bucket. Hallelujah. You know? Oh my gosh. So then I finally get the set, and I send him an email. It's like, hey, shipping conditions, those kind of suck. The instructions being messed around like this, like, if that was a patch from 20 years ago from a young you, fine. Like, I get it. It's not that big a deal. Still, like, a bit of a heads up warning, something, you know, let me know. But then also, parts are missing. It's like, dude, you listed the set as completed. It wasn't completed. Parts were missing. And I let him know what the parts were that were missing. In parentheses, like, ID number. And, like, full name of the thing on Bricklink. Getting a response the next day, hey, can you tell me what parts were missing? Yeah! So I sent him an email saying, all right, well, like, here it is. Here are the parts. I was able to find the 4 tires and the cone. But if you want to look for them, you can. The dish, on the other hand, that's a lot harder to come by. I don't have any. But to be honest, it's not going to be worth your time or funds, not my time or funds. Like, let's just move on and get over it. The guy is a nice guy. But whoa. God. This guy, I don't think he knows what he's doing. And yet I still gave him a neutral response because I'm such a forgiving person.
You are so disappointing on so many levels.
I really should have given him a negative, although I did say, like, near negative, bit slow to respond, ask for pics, look for missing parts, plus more reasons. But you can't fit all of my complaints and things that, like, experiences that happened in here because it doesn't fit in 80 characters. And the only reason why I give him neutral is because I'm a forgiving person, and it's also my fault for not realizing that this was, like, shown as it was, and that, like, missing parts were there. I should have warned him about it. It's like, hey, what's going on with those instructions? Or what, like, I see that you're actually missing some parts, you know? But still, I was like, I honestly should have given him a negative review. I really should have, but I only went with neutral. And I regret it.
Oh, I'm so frustrated I could just kick something.
I should have gone with negative. But I'm too nice. And I never asked for a refund because it's like, no, you know what? You're not getting your €5 and you're never going to get them. Because I even sent a response with the €5 thing. It's like, maybe once the set comes, I'll give you €5. Well, since there's missing parts and, like, the shipping conditions weren't that great, as you saw at the beginning of the video, or, like, whenever I put this clip of like, what, oh, well, shoot, I should just be, like, talking over this as I have the video, have the audio talking about it, because, like, I haven't been doing anything up front over here. Whoa. Like, why was there tape on the stickers on the bucket? Like, I feel like he went down to the post office and was like, hey, I need to ship this. Can you make it happen? And they wrapped it in paper and taped it and stuff. And even then, it still came, like, partially ripped open. So, yeah, like, should you get this set? Probably not, because it's not going to be worth your time. But I am happy to finally own it, you know? As silly as it is, as, like, nightmare fuel-inducing, like, or whatever, like, as nightmare-inducing as this Anakin picture is, like, oh my gosh, poor guy's, like, shaking everywhere, and he's got, like, a whacked-out smile. Like, I am happy to finally own it, because it means I can cross this off the list of year 2000. I'm still looking for some minifigure collections, basically. But, you know, Han, Luke, and Boba goes for, like, $40 to $50, and even then I'm like, I don't know if that's really worth it, because it only was $5 when it was released back in 2000, so, you know. And also the Battle Droids one. And I guess at this point, I'm also looking to try and get the X-Wing and the TIE Interceptor. Like the Ultimate Collector Series sets. But, like, we're very close to owning all the... Actually, I think I do technically now own all the playsets of 2000. I should probably just start cranking out 2000s set reviews. But we're also coming up on the Clone Wars returning. And I kind of want to maybe try my hand at reviewing episodes as they're released. I don't know. I bought a microphone. Haven't been able to test it out yet. I'm going to do that soon. So. Anyway. Oh, I forgot. So the set. It's delightfully kitsch. It ain't that great, but it also ain't that bad either. Is there anything I would do to improve it? Obviously, like, add a few parts to Anakin's pod. Maybe make a few changes here or there. Maybe, like, some printed parts. I don't know. Because Aldarbito's pod racer didn't come out at the time, maybe don't include Aldarbito's pod and get in somebody else, like Ben Quadraneros. I don't know how that would work, but it would be super cool. And I guess also Pit Droid. That would be the added thing. I would add a Pit Droid, because the Pit Droid is great. I love the Pit Droids of 1999 and only 1999, because they never came in anything else. But these Pit Droids are wonderful. I love them so much. They are great. Look at this. Look at this guy. Like, how could you not smile? He's adorable. So, yeah. That would really be my only true thing to say. It is like, maybe don't include Aldarbito, but instead include a Pit Droid. Or if you're gonna include somebody as a figure, maybe make it like either someone random in the stands, or make a like just normal minifigure, maybe with a modified head, maybe not. Probably just keep that, whatever this is going on there, and just make one of the other pod racers. Doesn't even need to be somebody's pod here, you know. It could be anybody. And I can't speak. I'd already be like completely on board. So yeah. So this set, it's probably not worth trying to get it unless you are a collector. Obviously, if you got it for a kid, I mean, I imagine that they'd probably like go nuts over it. But to be honest, you'd be better off getting like some other new set for them. But this thing, I am happy with my purchase. I'm happy that it finally showed up, and I'm done dealing with that guy. But yeah, now all I got to do is find a dish. That's all I really got to do. Find a dish and maybe find some replacements for these cord pieces, just because I want them to look a little bit better. But this has been MCLegoboy talking far too long about 7159, the Star Wars Podracing Bucket. See you guys.
Everybody plays the fool.